This is David Goldman, Asia Times Deputy Editor, speaking to you from New York City, the evening of June 22nd. Another day, another piece of evidence that inflation is persistent, extreme, and threatening to get out of control. Today we got a report from the Richmond Federal Reserve Bank showing that the costs that manufacturers are paying for their inputs are rising roughly twice as fast as the prices they're able to charge for customers. If you look at the chart of the day, you'll see a scissors opening between input prices and output prices. This is the worst since that series was compiled in the late 90s, and what it means is that the margins of manufacturers are being crushed by inflation, and that eventually is going to eat into output. Last week we showed a very similar chart from the Philadelphia Federal Reserve with basically the same pattern, and we noted that this gap between output and input prices is a very good predictor of recessions. You would think that would alarm the economists of the Federal Reserve System, but today Federal Reserve Chairman Powell did his Groucho Marx imitation again. Who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes? And he said, first of all, the prices that have increased are due to reopening of the economy, and we don't expect them to last very long. But he will say, quote, that these effects have been larger than we expected. They may turn out to be more persistent than we expected. So we never saw that horse before, Your Honor. We were only borrowing him, and he's lame anyway. The market liked that. Stock market went up because, in effect, the Fed is saying, even if we're surprised by inflation, even if it's much bigger than we thought it would be, and even if it lasts much longer than we thought it would, we're not going to do anything about it. And the market cares about what the Fed does, at least in the medium term, not what's really happening. It's unwise to believe this can go on forever, because as consumers balk at higher prices and producers are unable to pay them because they can't keep their margins intact, eventually this will push down output, and the Federal Reserve will have no choice but to do something about it. Exactly when that's going to happen, we don't know. If you take a warm bottle of soda, open it, put your finger over the mouth, and shake it, we don't know when it's going to cover you with soda either. Not exactly. But the evidence is piling up that this is endemic, persistent, and extremely high inflation, so be afraid. Be very afraid. This is David Goldman speaking to you from New York City.